All right, guys, I got one more video for you today or tonight, and it's gonna be help but don't help. I know that a lot of times you get really comfortable in a shop, or maybe you've been there for a long period of time. Maybe you're waiting for those rotors or those brake pads, or maybe you're waiting for that component to come in so you can replace it. It's all fine and dandy to go over to the guy next to your left and right and ask them, hey, is there anything I could do to help you, whatever. But there's a bigger picture here. It's not just about helping the guy to your left and right. You also got to figure out how you can help the shop, create that revenue, make that money, get those customers in and out. Some of those customers are waiting for a couple of days, some are only there for a few hours. So it's all well and good to help your neighbor, but at the same exact token, you really want to sit there and figure out what can I get done next. So if you already got your job done or you're on a parts hold, you need to go figure out what the next job is that you can potentially tackle and knock out. So it can go home and you can make your hours, you can help make the shop money, and then move on. And if that component should arrive while you're already in the middle of that other repair, then you take the less of two evils. If you have one heavy line job and one light mechanic repair, maybe, hey, component came in, I'm just supposed to change a water pump, this other one's a cylinder head job. I decided to dive on the cylinder head job while I was waiting for the component to come in to do this water pump job. Water pump's here, I'm heading right back over to the water pump. I'm gonna pick up where I left off on the cylinder head job once I complete the water pump job. So you really kind of have to balance the two of which one can you possibly get done today and which one's gonna take you maybe 1 day or 2 days, or depending on how long it takes for you to get the next cylinder head in. Maybe the cylinder head's in stock. Maybe you have it on top of your toolbox or your workbench. Or maybe it's the machine shop getting checked, so it's gonna take a little while. Whatever the case may be, you have to try to, balance the two, okay? So if I know I can bang this job out right now, or it's gonna take me this long to get this major project done, which one do I go with? Well, obviously, the obvious answer to that question is gonna be take care of the one you can get done today, because that's gonna get the shop paid, which is gonna help your hours, it's gonna make the boss happy, and then you can move over back to the heavy line job that you were on. Juggling light jobs. When you're juggling light jobs, you have to figure out which one you can get done quicker. So again, same thing, if you're waiting for that water pump to come in, but you have two other ROs that say that you need to do, one's a flash update and one's an airbag recall, waiting for a water pump, do the flash update, water pump's not here. Okay, well I got that car out. Now move on to the airbag. You get the airbag out, water pump shows up. Put the airbag back in, that one's out, back onto the water pump. See how that goes? So you kind of got to balance the two. It's really a balancing act. You got to figure out where you're going to make the most impact in the least amount of time. So, you know what I mean? If you see that somebody's struggling with a component, or somebody comes up to you and asks for your help, I'm not saying don't help them. Obviously go over there and help them, or at least go over and take a look and see what they're struggling with. They say, hey, trying to get this exhaust stab back in. I've got it kind of like mounted up in the slot, but I can't keep it up and run a bolt in. Okay, so you go over and take a look. Like, all right, man, look, it's a Y pipe, comes down, Y's into one connector. All you gotta do to help balance the two is you can either A, use a trans jack, or B, use a stick jack. Let me show you how to do that. You show them how to do it the one time. Now next time, they shouldn't need your help, because you just showed them how they can support the entire exhaust, plus get the bolts started, and now you can go back to what you're doing, and they know that for next time, they don't have to worry about that. I've been called over a handful of times for very random jobs that could have been done by the one person, but for whatever reason, needed an extra set of hands. It happens. It's gonna happen to you. It's happened to me. I already know that. I've had jobs where I couldn't do something in particular, so I've had electrical connectors that I can't get off. And I've learned different trade secrets to make it easier for them to separate, like the whole spray the connector with WD-40 or some kind of electronic parts cleaner, and use compressed air to blow out the dirt and debris, which might be trapping it, to using various picks to try to get underneath the retention clip to slide the connector away from itself. I've tried it all. And when I get to that point where I cannot get it and I'm afraid something's gonna break, I grab a different set of eyes, a different set of hands, they come over, they check it out. If they can't get it, we start stepping up our game. Maybe we use a hose pinch off pliers to lightly grab and pinch to pull, or maybe I have one person holding while the other one's pulling. I mean, there's different types of little tricks and things that you're going to learn along the way, but you learn them as you go, and as you have an extra set of eyes or an extra set of hands or a different set of skills, somebody that's a little bit more experienced in that particular area of dealing with that frustrating connector, you can usually get it done. So it's not impossible. It feels like it's impossible until you get that extra set of hands. Now you know for the next time what worked. So when that one particular year, make, model comes in with that same exact connector that you had trouble with, you'll know how to disconnect it easier the next time. So always keep that in the back of your mind. And it goes with other components too. So if you're unfamiliar with like steering, suspension, and things like that, you're like, hey, I've tried to whack it with the hammer, I've tried the pickle fork or whatever, tore the boot on this one side, is there any way I can separate this without doing that? They're like, oh yeah, I got the special tool, and it pops it off, and you don't have to worry about that. Great. So now you know for the next time, he's got a special tie rod tool that pops it loose, and you don't have to worry about damaging anything. That's always good for you. Now you don't have to worry about buying a boot to replace because you just tore it using a pickle fork. So lots of different things you're going to learn along the way. It's not an easy journey, but if this is the kind of industry that you're getting into and you're serious about it and you want to be a mechanic or an automotive technician, you are going to run into certain situations and you can't know everything. Experience dictates what it is that you know. If you do more things as a mechanic than you do as a technician, you're going to learn more things on how to take something apart mechanically without that part failing or without breaking that part. Inadvertently, if you're doing more stuff on the diagnostic side, you're not sure what you're looking for as far as the data stream is concerned using a scan tool, but you know how to pull codes. If there is no codes, you'd be like, well, there is no codes, it seems to be running rough, I'm not sure what I need to do. They can come in, they show you where the misfire monitors are, etc., etc. They show you how to get into it so you can take a look. They show you how to look up TSBs, say, hey, yeah, I know there's a TSB for this. There might not always be a check engine light, but it has to do with this. This is what you need to do. So inadvertently, there's two different sides to the story. You have the tech side and you have the mechanic side. And we'll talk about that in a different video. But help without helping. That's something that I want to teach you guys. Help without helping. Come over, share your 2 cents, see if they can't figure it out. If they can't figure it out, give that extra set of hands. Really easy. If all you have to do is come over and say, hey, yeah, no, I've ran into that, you need this, and you provide them the tool. I don't know how to use it. Okay, this is how you set it up. This is how you use it. Great. They can do the other side. Help without helping. Try to do the least amount that you possibly can to show somebody how to effectively get their job done in a timely manner without spending all day next to them waiting for them to disconnect that connector or disconnect that component or whatever. Show them the easy way and then go back to the job that you were at, because you're now taking time away from the shop's revenue. You're taking time away from that tech. You're taking time away from yourself. You spend too much time helping somebody, you're not being effective as a mechanic or a technician. If you can go over and share your 2 cents and then turn around and go back to your job, now you're being effective because you help save the company time by showing that mechanic or that technician or that lube tech how to do something, and now you can go back to your job and they can finish and proceed with what it is that they're doing. Really simple stuff. Some of the stuff's a little bit more challenging. I've even run into situations where it took 2 or 3 different sets of eyes before we even figured out how something came apart. It happens, guys. It happens more than you know. Don't be afraid to ask for help, but if you're the helper, try to help without helping first. And if it's really one of those things where you have to be there with an extra set of hands, then do so. Get it done as fast and effective as you can. Whether it comes from dropping that 2 or 3 piece drive shaft, or it's just lowering a subframe and supporting it or whatever. If it's something like that, by all means, jump in, help them out, get it dropped, because that helps productivity with the shop. But if it's something small and kind of trivial where they could have pretty much done it on their own had they had the right amount of guidance, then give them the guidance that they need to get the component removed, to finish the job, and then go right back to your job. That's going to keep productivity high in the shop. That's all I got for this video, guys. Look, I hope you got something from it. Thanks as always for watching. Cheers to those of you that have your beers. I hope you're enjoying your work week. We'll see you next time. Deuces.